Hey everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Today I'm going to do another review, or I guess tonight. I'm going to be really a little more quiet than usual, perhaps. Not quite as animated because my son is asleep in the next room, and so I just wanted to get another review out in the midst of all the holidays. 4th of July is around the corner, and I'm going to be busy the next week or so, so I just wanted to get one out, make sure that I kept up with you guys because I promised you another review. And here is the next one. This is VOR by James Blish. This is an Avon, and it is 5th printing, 1970. Cool red text block. Pretty neat cover. And one that was one of the first James Blishes that I picked up when I started collecting a lot of vintage sci-fi. I had heard Blish's name thrown around a lot with, like, I think, is it Black Easter, The Day After Judgment, maybe? Cities in Flight, that kind of stuff. And so I chose, instead of reading some of his, like, best known stuff, to just pick up one that I had that seemed relatively short. Yeah, it's like just under 160 pages. And that seemed like a pretty cool concept. The little blurb on the front says, "The awesome first alien demanded of Earth what it had no power to give." And yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a cool concept. I read this in one day. This was the Is this the first book I read in the year 2025? Way back in January? Has it been that long? Man, if it has been, wow, it's been a minute since I read this book. But I kind of refreshed. I kind of went back through and skimmed and looked over some notes that I took. And I was not a huge fan of this book after I closed it. And that, I don't want to damper anybody's spirits about it, because I know that there's some James Blish defenders out there, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them, or won't be one of them in the future. But this one didn't really impress me. The concept was extremely cool and drew me in, and then the execution of the story and the characters and stuff just kind of fell flat for me. A little bit predictable with the character arc. But yeah, we follow a man named Marty, who is a former pilot, and he is trying to remember exactly how he and a bunch of other people, who are essentially in like a research facility, like CIA, Department of Homeland Security, that kind of thing. He was a former military pilot, so he gets roped into this, like, kind of top secret alien, landing, VOR, just this big old alien that apparently lands and is like this super heated molten lava man creature that they don't know what to do with. He's kind of docile and he's just kind of chill, and they're like, what do we do with this guy? And we follow Marty as they try to figure out what to do about this alien creature, because he doesn't seem hostile, and then, as you would expect, things take a turn. I'm not going to say what happens, but um, I'll get into maybe a couple of thoughts, spoiler thoughts, here in just a minute. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of the storyline. There we have this subplot of him, the main character, and his kind of estranged ex-wife, who he fights with, and who he's has a strained relationship with, um, and that's kind of it as far as like the main plot that we follow. The main characters. There's some other characters we follow, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, I won't say anything else about the plot, what happens, but I think I was mildly disappointed at the predictability of the end, where I was just like, cool, kind of shrug your shoulders, cool. And I put it down and I was like, that was fun. but it didn't do anything for me. It didn't stick with me. It didn't resonate with me deeply. It was a fun sci-fi story. And so if you're into, the vintage, this era of science fiction that is just kind of there's a lot of books I think pumped out during this time that were just, it was like a short story concept that was turned into at least 150-page novel so they could sell it as a novel. Is how I took this book and a lot of other ones of that time period. And so I don't know. It's a fun read. It was a quick read. I think I already said it, but I read this in one sitting. I started it in the morning with some coffee, and then by the afternoon, I was closing in, on the end, and it was a day well spent because I have a lot of more. I have a lot more Blish books sitting on my shelf. I can kind of see them over there a little bit. Um, that I'm excited to at some point read. But this one, you know, 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5. It wasn't anything that blew me away, and so if you're looking for a Blish that's somewhat forgettable, choose VOR. It's because it's fun, but it's not something that's going to blow you away. I'm going to put spoilers right here and talk about just the ending and why it kind of frustrated me. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, stop the video. If you don't care, keep going. I hated the fact that Marty was a pilot who wouldn't fly. This is my huge beef with the book when I closed it, because I kind of just rolled my eyes like, really? He wouldn't fly for the whole book. He like refused to do it. And then at the end, they need him to fly, of course. And he's like, fine, I'll fly to save the world. And you're just kind of like, it just felt like a Marvel movie moment where you kind of roll your eyes a little bit at the predictability of like, there wasn't any like disguising that setup. Like from the very beginning, I was like, oh, he's gonna fly to like at some point in the book to like do something, and that's his character arc. And sure enough, at the end, when VOR like floats up in his ship or whatever in the sky and is like trying to figure out what, how he's gonna die, uh, Marty's like communicating with him by flying a plane. It was a cool ish last scene, like the visual of it, but I just thought that the payoff for the character arc was just kind of, it was just like whatever. That really bothered me. I thought that the concept of VOR being like wanting to, I didn't want to say this in the non-spoiler section because I feel like it's a pretty cool reveal when you realize that like VOR can't kill himself. He wants to die. And he's asking humanity, like, kill me, please. I want to die. I thought that was the one area of this book that did resonate deeper than just a surface level sci-fi story, because it did kind of speak to like the human experience a little bit of, you know, if we feel trapped sometimes in our bodies and we're just like, you want the pain and suffering to end sometimes of things, and unfortunately, the way out is not always what you should do or can do. And so I think it spoke to that deep darkness inside of a lot of us, where we want to get out and we want to fix a problem, but we can't do it alone. And so I don't know, that part was cool. And I thought that the ending of him, I remember he like flies into the sun. That's the only thing that will like destroy him, because he's such a molecularly dense creature, if I remember right. Uh, I thought that was kind of a cool way of wrapping it up, because I was like, how, if they can't kill VOR, how is he going to die? And sort of saw that coming a little bit at the end there, where I'm like, oh, well, the only thing that's like hot enough or destructive enough is a sun, unless he just, you know, maybe goes into the center of the earth, which I don't, it was a cool concept. I remember at the very beginning, it says to Damon Knight, whose idea it was. I thought that was cool. Damon Knight threw him an idea, and Blish expanded on it and created this book. So this, I can't remember if this was like, I think number 11 in my reading challenge, but overall it was is a fine book. Like I said, six and a half maybe out of 10. Um, let me know below what other Blish books I should check out, because I have quite a few. Real quick, let me look and see if what I have sitting here. I have all the Cities in Flight. I'll get them out for you, because why not? We're doing a review. We might as well get some of them out. Okay. Here's a few. I have Triumph of Time, a real old Avon. I have The Frozen Year, very beat up. I don't know what that is about. I have all 4 Cities of Flight in one volume, the big old beat up sun faded guy. So I have They Shall Have Stars, A Life for the Stars, Earthman Come Home, and The Triumph of Time, which I already showed you. So there's 3 Blishes. Give me a second. I think these are the only other 2 that I have, but I just picked up this in my last haul with Luke, Fallen Star. And then this is the one everybody talks about, Devil's Day, which is 2. It is, oh come on, Black Easter and The Day After Judgment. So yeah, both seem very interesting and pretty gnarly. So yeah, those are the Blishes that I have. Are they better than this? Let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But anyway, sorry I didn't have a ton to say about this one. It was a short book, pretty quick, mediocre in my mind. So anyway, we'll keep moving along with the 25 book challenge reviews that I'm going to keep moving on. And I hope everybody has a safe 4th of July. And I'll be seeing you in the next review video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. See you next time.